Okay, so this is information on the state aid programs available for Georgia residents, and there are specific residency requirements for all these programs. If you've been a Georgia resident forever and you graduated from a Georgia high school, then you would meet the requirements. But if you're a recent transplant to the state or you graduated high school in another state, you might have questions about the residency requirements. Hope Scholarship is for degree level programs, and I'll talk about Hope Grant in a minute, and so a lot of times they get confusing about what the difference is, but the main difference is which program you're in. So Hope Scholarship is for associate degree level programs. The student needs to request a GPA evaluation from us, from the financial aid officer. Just let us know, I need to see if I'm eligible for Hope Scholarship. Whether you're a recent high school graduate and you know you're a Hope Scholar based on your high school GPA, or if you've been to school at other institutions and we need to evaluate your transcripts from those schools to determine if you're eligible. Hope Scholarship recipients have to have a 3.0 GPA at certain credit hour checkpoints, and they're listed up there, 30, 60, and 90 credit hours, and the end of every spring term. And so that's why we need those transcripts from every other school you've attended to see how many credit hours you took at each of those schools and which checkpoint are you at when we're evaluating your GPA. The Hope Scholarship right now pays 73% of tuition for all of the technical colleges. Tuition right now is $85 per credit hour, but Hope Scholarship will pay $62.57 of that. Okay, so that's just the tuition charge. This would mean that the student is still going to be responsible for 27% of the tuition charge, plus fees, plus any book expenses that they have. Now, if the student has Hope and Pell, the Pell Grant would be applied towards that balance of the tuition and fees and books. But if all you have is a Hope Scholarship, you're looking at 27% of tuition plus fees and books. And Hope Scholarship will pay up to 127 credit hours at any institution. So if you've been to other schools and used some up, that's, you're using up some of your allotment for Hope Scholarship. The Zell Miller Scholarship is also for degree programs, so associate degree or bachelor's degree programs. This is for the highest achieving high school graduates. So if you're the valedictorian or salutatorian of your high school class, or you made really good test scores and had at least a 3.7 GPA when you graduated high school, you may be eligible for Zell Miller. Zell Miller pays 100% of tuition, so it's basically the same as Hope Scholarship except for the GPA requirements, and it will pay 100% of that $85 tuition charge versus 73% that Hope Scholarship pays. But Zell Miller students have to maintain a 3.3 GPA at all those same checkpoints. Okay, the Hope Grant program pays the same as Hope Scholarship, but Hope Grant is for diploma and certificate level programs. So if you want to do cosmetology or the LPN program or any of our certificate or other diploma programs, you may be eligible for Hope Grant. And there's no upfront GPA requirement for Hope Grant where there is for Hope Scholarship. And it only requires a 2.0 GPA, so that's a C average. But a 2.0 GPA at 30 and 60 credit hours, and it will pay 73% of the tuition charge, and it will pay up to 63 credit hours at any institution for Hope Grant. Now this last one here, Strategic Industries Workforce Development Grant, is a mouthful. We're just calling it the SWG grant. That's not really how it's spelled, but that's a lot easier to say. This is a new grant that started this semester. It's through separate funding through the state, so I don't know if this will be around indefinitely or if this will be a short-term program. But this program is offering additional financial aid to students who are enrolled in the LPN or the Practical Nursing Program or the Early Childhood Care and Education Diploma Program only. So only those two programs. It also does offer funds for commercial truck driving, but we do not offer that program here at Southwest Georgia Tech. So students they have to be receiving the Hope Grant. So if you're already in those two diploma programs and you're receiving Hope Grant, then you're automatically eligible to receive this grant as well. And so it will pay an additional $250 if you're taking 8 credit hours or less, or $500 if you're taking 9 hours or more. And for LPN students, you have to already be in the clinical portion of the program. If you're still working on your core, you're not going to be able to receive it yet. But once you get into the clinical part, then you can receive this grant. And for early childhood, it has to be the diploma level. If you're in the degree or the certificate, those are not eligible for this. Okay, a couple more state aid programs. If you've received your GED in the past couple years, when you got your test scores in the mail, you should have also received a GED voucher in that envelope. That voucher is good for $500 to use towards your educational expenses at an institution in Georgia, but you do have to use it within 2 years of earning your GED. And all you have to do is bring us that GED voucher. We ask for a copy of your identification. You also have to apply for financial aid. So you have to have a FAFSA in the process in order for us to award the GED grant as well. And then Excel, this is for high school students who they want to take degree level core classes while they're still in high school. Excel funds are available for that, and 100% of tuition is covered for those students in high school. The high school counselor does have to approve that application, and there is also a separate Excel application that the student has to submit every semester. Okay, so it's every semester for individual courses when you apply for Excel.